final prediction previously. I know I was popping it. I really was trying to trigger the Bud fans and all that, because I know y'all just love Bud, blind love. Like, I mean, I know what y'all John is, but I'm going to try to do a real breakdown. This is the biggest fight in the world. It's the biggest fight since Manny and Floyd. Shout out to Floyd for having the second biggest fight of all time with Conor McGregor. That's the power of Floyd Money Mayweather. Just so you fucking know. But I'm going to get back to Errol Spence and Bud. Listen, the plot is getting thick, cuz. You mean? The plot is getting thick. You got Bud fans. You got Errol Spence fans. I'm an Errol Spence fan, but I'm going to stop lying to y'all because I know I was heavy on the EJ going to win. He going to knock him out. But this going to be more of a serious breakdown. I don't know what pace the fight is going to be for that. But before I get into that, I'm going to say this. This is a true 50-50 fight. I don't know who to edge out the fight to, but maybe I don't know. Let me keep it a beam. Because last time I'm popping it, trying to get the Crawford fans mad, I'm entertaining, but I ain't really breaking down the fight. This is what I'm going to say about the fight, right? You got two different type of mentalities. You got Errol Spence, I'm going to touch you till I wear you down. You got Bud that I'm going to win. I'm going to say Bud mentality is I'm going to beat you up. But if you start trying to play with me, I'm going to play with you in a whole different way you ain't never get played with. Yeah, matter of fact, it's going to end so quick. You're going to be like, damn, why? I didn't want to play this game. I didn't want to play this. It could get real ugly messing with somebody like Bud. Because he'll rumble. He another one. He'll rumble you in the bathroom. He'll rumble you by the water fountain. He'll rumble you when the teacher not looking. He'll rumble you in the closet where you hang your coat at. He heavy like back block rumble you bull. So I think Spence fans want a high paced fight. I think Crawford fans want a slow paced fight. I think the intervals of the fight is going to be on some, you feel me? It's going to go up and down. It's going to go up and down. Then it's going to reach a point when it's up. It's going to slow down. It's going to go up. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to give y'all the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, and I'm going to give y'all the keys to victory, and then I'm going to tell y'all who I think is going to win. Errol Spence strengths, great jab, best body puncher probably in the sport just because of the volume, accumulative. Underrated defense. Errol Spence doesn't really get hit with a lot of clean punches. Very intelligent. I think he's the best inside fighter of this whole generation. He also hits people with punches they don't see because he's good for like replacing his head with his fist on the inside. Very tricky inside fighter. Can throw uppercuts. Yeah, inside fighting is actually devastating when it comes to Errol Spence. Decent footwork. Really is good at pivoting. Footwork and this like little step back shit. Little step back, like Paul Pierce type step back. Like nothing like, he ain't like James Harden with his step back. He more like Paul Pierce with his step back. I'm bad. Let me see. What's another Errol Spence strength? Oh, just the best fundamentals in the sport. Keeping the high work rate. Using his rhythm to get him in like, all right, so Spence keeps touching you to get in rhythm. Jabs, small little body punches, countering your counters with body punches. While Bud, he uses, Bud is going to throw what he's going to knock you out with in the 10th round, in the second round, the first round, third round. He not wanting. I remember after Kambosos fight, we're gonna start talking about Bud strengths. After Kambosos fight number one, I think Dev was like, yeah, it was after the first. Dev was like, when Dev fought Kambosos in Australia, I had bet 9, 10, 11, and 12. I put $20 on each round that Dev was gonna get a knockout in one of them rounds because it was like good odds on that shit. I feel like the uppercut was there all night, and Dev was like, yo, I seen it, but I ain't want to throw it. Bud don't think like that. Bud is gonna throw. He gonna throw it till he get the timing down. That nigga's he different. He's different. Honestly, it's hard to talk about Bud without talking about Tank because they do a lot of things in the ring similar if you really break down the film. And it's crazy because like I feel like the difference between them is like Bud uses his feet more, but Tank to me has the better feet, but Tank could really jump out of position often, where Bud is like, he gonna keep himself in distance. So Bud's strengths are his feet. Oh my fucking God. Bud has literally beat people, pause, with his feet. To me, Bud beat Kell Brook and Sean Porter with his feet alone. Not to mention the counter punching and throwing the right punches, but them not being able to get past his distance to the point they just end up making big mistakes because his feet was frustrating him so much. Where he was at in the ring frustrated him so much, and he forced them to like, yeah. So, but you gotta give his feet like a different level because they're so educated. Bud's feet is just like, whoa. Counter punching. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I should talk about where they're underrated too. Counter punching, timing, athleticism. Bud is a freak as far as his twitch and snap on his punches and just really being able to fill you out. And like, I was watching the body John video, him punching the body, the heavy bag, and he had did the little uppercut, and I'm like, that John look weird as shit. But that's the same exact uppercut he knocked out Benavidez with. So I'm just like, I mean, he is. What else is Bud's strength? Oh, he got like this sharp punch placement accuracy, John. Bud could go in attack mode and it look like he's going rogue, but he really not going rogue. Like, it really just depends on the pace, the time of the round it is. Cause Bud has set you up on some high speed, set you up shit. Like, he did it to Mean Machine and he did it to Avanesian. I get it. These niggas not the most elite niggas in the world. He even did it to Gamboa, but to be fighting at that level of intensity and pace and still set a trap on a nigga, that's crazy. So for me, the only reason I don't say Terence Crawford counterpunching is better than Tank, even though Bud uses his feet to really bring you into him and all of that, is because Tank knocked people out with every punch, so it just don't make sense what his joint is. Even though Bud punch variation ain't far, but it ain't on Tank level. Bud's IQ. We didn't know Bud was the best clincher in the whole sport until he fought Sean Porter. We found out that night. Like, where did all this clinching come from, cuz? Yeah, I heard you wrestle and all that, but you hype as shit. You strong dickhead. Like, Errol Spence had some trouble with Sean Porter on the inside. Bud had trouble. I don't know. He was over it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, it wasn't on the inside though, because he couldn't really get to the inside. It was like he had a few moments where I think he like doubled some rights, but it wasn't a lot of moments. Yeah, because Bud, like, yeah, let's go Bud weaknesses and then Spence weaknesses. And then we're going to go Spence keys to victory, Bud keys to victory. I'm going to talk about where they underrated at too. All right, Bud weakness is, do he got a weakness? Sometimes Bud don't jab enough. Yeah, against Spence, his weakness would be that he don't jab enough. You know what I'm saying? Up until his last fight versus Avanesian, from the southpaw position where he's most successful, he'll like not jab and just kind of only counterpunch. But his feet is so effective that, like, I was watching Mean Machine fight earlier and he was adding pressure without jabbing with just really good feet work and still setting traps. Like, Bud, oh my God, he's good. Oh, on Bud's strengths and Errol Spence, they do high level shit like peeling, framing and all that cool weird shit. Like, you mean, like, this fight could be boring. And this is why I'm on the keys to victory. I'm going to say I want Bud to come out orthodox. So it's not boring. So you get what I'm saying? Because if they both in southpaw and they just thinking and all that, like, I want to see you niggas step to each other and rumble. You get what I'm saying? I know Bud going to go southpaw eventually, but I don't want him to start off southpaw because that could change the whole pace of the fight and how everybody think it's going to go. But I'll get to that. Bud weakness. Sometimes Bud just be like, he be in the mid-range and he just be standing straight up, like, just right in front of motherfuckers. He be admiring his work sometimes. Like, he not fundamentally flawed. Sometimes he keep his right hands down. Sometimes he keep it up. Sometimes he just be overthinking and he just get hit with shots he not supposed to get hit with. Overall, his weakness would be on the inside and just not really jabbing enough. Bud is not really somebody with weaknesses, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie to you. But that's why I did want to bring up where he's underrated. He's an underrated body puncher, and it's just like a lot of times he's not committed to the body. A lot of times he hurts you, he start head hunting, but it be some heavy, crazy shit. Like, but he be head hunting when he hurt niggas. He don't be like, Spence hurt you, he's gonna make sure he's relaxed. 90% of the time he's relaxed, but he's going to try to take as much of your legs out while he got you hurt as he can. Like, trying to break you. Bud is trying to kill you though. Like, Spence is trying to break you and like change you. Spence don't want you to take shits regular. He wants you to hold on to both sides of the bathroom. Bud just wants to send you to the hospital and like really like, you know, they kind of both crazy in their own little way. What else is Bud weakness? Yeah, I think for me, it's like, whether it was like, you think about fights he got hurt at, I think every fight Bud got hurt, he was in the mid-range, standing straight up, kind of closing the distance, getting on the inside, and just like not really being defensively responsible after his offense. So that's why I don't want to say he got weakness. Yeah, it's a few probably like tech, but I'm not that guy. Like other channels will give you more of this super technical breakdown. Even though I understand him, I know him, I see him and all of that, and it's just like, I think he could do a lot more on the inside. But overall, Bud don't really got that many weaknesses in my opinion, and maybe it'll come back to me. But I think it's hard as shit to train for Bud. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's probably like, it's a little easier to train for Spence, but I think at the same time it's hard for it to train for Spence too, because it's like, who fights at that pace all fight at 147. It's like some 112, 108, 115. I don't think they really could train for each other. I think it's about who got the best training camp as far as just getting in shape. I don't think Bud is too big. I think Bud staying at Colorado Springs a few days longer is good for him. We're going to talk about that later on the Keys to Victory. But I would say Spence, problem is sometimes he reaches a little too much, and I don't think like he one of them people like he not like Rolly when he reach where he reached so bad he's straight in front of you. He reaches, he gets off the line, but it's coming out of the reach. He reached so long stepping off the line, he gotta come straight back. So he could get caught in between that. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to mess up Cuz's name. His name is like Immortality, new YouTube page, I think. I like him a lot. He breaks down real good. Hold on. Immortality Serum Fights Chaos and Science. I like him. He reminds me of like a boxing gyms type of boy. Errol Spence weakness, you could say is he could be flat-footed, but he take a lot of little small steps that people don't really pay attention to, whether it's pivoting to his lead hand side, very fundamentally responsible, even sometimes when he's taking chances, like always like up and under. He don't just end up punching you and standing up. Even though that's how he got caught against Ugas, was also once again standing straight up. He could be a sucker for a sweeping right hand. I'll talk about that in the Keys to Victory for Bud. Strengths. Errol Spence got a crazy chin, but we don't know. His chin is questionable only because he got a little wobbly a few times, but it's also sturdy because he ain't never been officially dropped. Shout out to Bud for both guys have a crazy engine. Yeah, both guys' engine is insane. Both of these niggas is V12s. Bud is a V8 and Spence is a V12. But realistically, both of these niggas is V12s. They not about to get tired. That's out. I'm trying to think. Spence is not really a counterpuncher. He won't always punch when you punch, but he can punch when you punch. I'm gonna say this. Bud weakness is his punches could be a little fat sometimes. He could be wide with the punches, and that's the strength of Errol Spence, is that he could be very tight with the punches. All right, let's go Keys to Victory, because that's where my focus is at already. I can see Keys to Victory for Spence. Oh yeah, another underrated thing that Spence does is Spence makes a lot of adjustments in the fight. Immortality, boy, helped me see that. I already kind of knew it, but he broke it down like deep. How like Spencer just throw something different at you once you peep on what he's throwing. But it ain't like too crazy. It just he'll probably switch up the tempo, and that is probably Bud's number one strength, if I'm not lying. Outside of Bud feet, for me, and setting traps with the counterpunching, the best thing that Bud does for me, like on some Andre Ward type shit, is how he switches up the tempo of his punches and how he could go from 0 to 1,000,000 in like 2 seconds. Especially after he hurt you. But okay, keys to victory for me is stay disciplined, keep it tight, be patient when you need to be patient. When you out of range, take your time. Yeah, so I would say Spence needs to be patient, be first and last, meaning punch with Bud, because his punches could be fat. Counter his counters early, close every round very strongly. I don't feel like Spence has to do too much, being as though he fought a lot of counter punchers. And I would say based off, change the tempo of your punches, but everything you do, be you. Work your way to the inside. Don't feel the need to prove the point that you can outbox Bud, because if you get caught into that game, then it might not go your way. But although you're losing from not being able to outbox him, still strategically work on closing the distance throughout the fight. If you watch Tank versus Hector Luis Garcia, for me, that was Tank's best fight for me. And he wasn't the biggest like counterpuncher in that fight, but the way he closed the distance in that fight with his feet, slightly with his jab, but mainly with his feet, and being very patient, to me it was a work of art, you know. So that was like one of the best things I've seen all year, from like learning boxing while watching. Like, oh, okay, like his punch variation was one thing, throwing that 2-3-2, but then how he was closing the distance round by round and just getting closer, and just like he was countering. He had a mean pull counter that fight, but Errol Spence not a natural counter puncher. I think punching with Bud would be his best bet. You know, just getting Bud in them positions that he not really comfortable with, pushing him and all that. You mean holding his head down, taking advantage of when he rests. Cause up until this last fight, Bud is standing in front of you when he rests sometimes. He did it in his last 2 fights. Let's put it like that. He's standing in front of you, both his hands up. Now to me, since Bud is like fighting a true pressure fight, I got more keys to victory for Bud. And I know he's capable of it. That's why I'm bringing it up. I feel like Bud, I want to see... I said Bud was an underrated counter puncher. I want to see him body puncher. Bud is an underrated body puncher. I want to see Bud touch the body early and counter early. Like, don't, I got to warm up till the 6th round to counter. No, I don't think you got to be high activity early. But I think you counter early and touch the body early. You don't have to meet Spence at his style. Like, be you. Turn the shit out of Spence. Turn him. You good at that. Bud is probably the best in the sport at holding the center of the ring. I love how Devin Haney does it. Don't rest on the ropes, Bud. And you're not a rest on the ropes type of bull. This is a pressure fighter, that has an active jab. You'll be in positions that you probably ain't used to being in. So if you get on the ropes, turn. Just turn him from the rip. Clinch. Work a little bit off the clinch more than you used to. Off the bump, throw some shit at him. And I'm just trying to think about things they don't do too often. Protect yourself at all times. Ain't no way to look out for certain shit. And let me see what else I got written down. I could have said this for Errol Spence, but I think that's naturally what he goes for. Naturally, Errol Spence goes to being the person that dictates the pace. But you dictate the pace, meaning you be the one controlling the, versus trying to compete with him at what he do best. Don't be that bull. I think Bud investing into the body earlier is going to really matter for the later rounds with the traps that he could set for himself. Bud is a low-key underrated body puncher, has hurt people to the body seriously. Spence showed against Ugas he don't really like to be touched to the body. Touch the nigga to the body. Go orthodox and the sweeping rights will be there for you more. Spence is a little bit of a sucker to sweeping right. That's my favorite fighter, but Nanny Ugas has hurt him with sweeping right punches. I think it was a right hook that y'all love to talk about Bundu hit him with or whatever. I wouldn't rush out to southpaw. I'll use it when needed. I will come out orthodox because what switch hitter does Spence really fight that's named Terence Crawford? Because if it's not Terence Crawford and boots, it really don't even matter anyway. Keep it a bean. I wouldn't just jump out to southpaw unless you just want to slow down the pace from the rip, and I get that because it's like more towards your way. If you go orthodox, I think it's more openings there for you. I understand you're more comfortable with southpaw and all that. I just think that slow pace that you might feel like you going for, I think it's just going to lean in Spence's favor, to be honest with you, Bud. So I think he'll overcome that pace, have you fighting at his pace. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I think you should go orthodox. Use the ring. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't mention that. Bud, use the motherfucking ring. Use your legs. Get them Victor Postar legs. When I look at the style matchup, I see Marvin Hagler. I see Ray Leonard. I look at Bud. I say he's Ray Leonard. You look at the fight, Marvin Hagler to me got going a little later than usual, but I also feel like his feet as far as cutting off the ring, and I'm not comparing Errol Spence to Marvin Hagler, but if you watch him, he was following Ray Leonard, and then Ray Leonard would finish the round strong. So I think whoever finishes the round strong too would influence the judges more. But what I do believe is if Bud goes out attempting to finish the round a little too strong, you working your way towards fighting Errol Spence at his strength. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to look at the fight as even as possible. I think Spence will be a little bit more effective at cutting off the ring and, getting to where he wants to go later than what like a Marvin Hagler did against a Ray Leonard, all the way up until like the 6th or 7th round he got going, and he didn't win all the rounds in the second half. And I feel like in the first half, Leonard pretty much won all the first half rounds. Use your legs, bud. Use your legs. Don't be so prideful to give him the fight that the fans want and all that. If you want to win, do you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I do want the action-packed shit, but nigga, do you. Floyd didn't say, oh, I'm about to slug it out with Manny. Oh, I'm going to fight Manny at his fight. No, he went and beat Manny up and just outclassed him. I think your best bet is outclassing Spence. So that's why I had Spence winning, to be honest. I think Bud can outclass Spence behind serious boxing, switch hitting, counterpunching, setting traps, letting the fight come to him, and just letting things naturally go how they go. But I think that Bud will pick up the pace. And when Bud picks up the pace, he is more dangerous. Don't get it fucked up. But we haven't seen Bud fight a 12-round fight at that intense pace. We seen him pick up the pace and assert his dominance, but still, okay, let me get my rhythm, let me slow it down, still setting traps. The pace that Spence gets warmed up to by that 3rd round, that's the pace that he's going to be fighting the whole fight. He's willing to take a little beating too to get to where he wants to go. I don't think Bud is opposed to taking a beating, but this is actually surprising where this should be the fight where I can see Bud slightly showing what you guys will call age, but what I will call just a style matchup issue, whereas though you'll see his legs start to give in the later rounds, not because he's aging out, but because he picked up the pace earlier than he's used to and had to sustain that tempo and intensity for longer than he's used to. Because by the time Bud picks it up, the fight is about most over, because we already know he's about to get cussed the fuck out of here. So the big question we've been having on these YouTube panels, Twitter, or whatever is, now what if Spence could take Bud power? Your ass is grass, Poppy. Hey, Poppy. I said, hey, Pop. Yeah, cuz. We're going to beat you the fuck up, cuz. It's like, no, man, I love you, Bud, man. May God bless you. But look, I'm going to leave y'all with this, though. Bud going to have his moments early, though. First 4 rounds, probably in, like, the 7th round, too. But it's going to get dark. And I already see you doubting yourself, cuz. And I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like, no, all right, let me stop playing. Before I get to that, I used to, about 4 years ago, I first started getting on the YouTube boxing Jones. I'm going to say 4, like 3 years ago on the YouTube boxing Jones. I used to tell motherfuckers, like, I could see Spence beating Bud because of just the volume alone. Taking both of them being at their best, I would say, okay, it's kind of easy with how Spence fights. Similar to, like, although Danny Garcia is a different fighter, but similar to how Spence beat Danny with the jab, and not like that's all he beat him with, but the jab was the defining factor, staying active, the body punching and all of that. That's why I don't agree with Bud saying that, like, all he got to do is be himself. I think a part of that is true, but it's like, who are you, Bud? You fight your last 3 fights. You fought a different style each fight, so how the fuck you gonna say be yourself? You fucking dickhead. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you a counter puncher, but nigga, your last fight you was active. You was throwing a bunch of punches. You was jabbing, Lil Shakur style. Fight before that, you ain't wake up till the 6th round with Sean Porter. You was asleep the first half of the fight. You had trouble with Kell Brook before you eventually got him out of there. But yeah, you fought a different style each fight. So I guess you being you by, like, you know, letting the fight come to you, which I like. But yeah, that pace thing is gonna matter to me the most. And then the ranges will matter to me the most. So from the outside, I remember telling somebody this, that I think from the outside, Bud would be more effective low-key as orthodox because his jab is sharp, up and down, level changing from orthodox, and I think he'll get that opening that he wants, which has been effective on Spence, is the sweeping right hand, not to mention all the little other stuff he could do with uppercuts and all that, versus this super slower pace where I feel like Spence will just overcome and plow over that by way of taking a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, mid-range, I think that's Bud bread and butter. Bud mid-range is southpaw bread and butter. However, that mid-range makes Errol Spence say, I'm about to get on the inside. He's getting closer. So, you know, you start working your way towards Spence's fight, and then before you know it, you got swallowed by a shark. You fucking dick butt-kiss meathead. You dickhead. No, let me stop playing. No, he gonna fuck you over, cuz. Yeah. Shout out to Nebraska, you see. There's another thing I'm gonna say. Bud swaggy as shit, though. It's this little thing Bud do. He start shaking his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? This is how y'all know if Spence about to lose. Bud start, like, moving his shoulders a certain way. He start doing the NBA you too small shit. He start talking dirty. Because they both play mind games. I gotta talk about the mind games. Bud mind game is like, I'm about to show you that whatever you doing is not really a drawing. Like, it's not really affecting me. I'm here for you. I'm here to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Spence, so I'm gonna refer to football, right? Bud Jordan, because I played football my whole life. Bud Jordan was like, he's like a wide receiver. Swaggy, talk a lot of shit. And it's gonna fuck y'all up, but it's gonna make sense if y'all listen. He's swaggy, but like his swag alone, like how he'll run a route would just make you know what I'm saying, how Bud is getting that rhythm and he just, you know, touching you, showing you can't touch him. You gotta do something extraordinary to get close to him. Before you know it, you're doing extraordinary. He's punching you hard as shit where you didn't see it coming, you dropping. You know, that's like the equivalent of doing like a double move on you or something. And then you got Spence. His mind game is, Spence is like one of the most underratedly poised motherfuckers in the whole sport. He don't talk to his opponent. So Spence remind me of the position that I played, which is cornerback. All real shutdown cornerbacks don't say a word to their receiver. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey. I don't know how he ever done it, but he ain't had a good season last year. But if you pay attention and you understand football, because that's like my number one sport that I know the most, shutdown corners do not speak to the receiver at all. Deion Sanders came out and said, I never talked to the receiver. I was showboating stuff, but I'm not saying nothing to the receiver. They probably fight a receiver if it get that serious. Darrell Reavers don't talk to no receivers. You can look at all the best cornerbacks in the league right now. Denzel Ward, all that. Corners don't talk to receivers because it takes so much mental capacity to stay in that zone. You can't talk. And it's one of the most disarming tactics. So I'm going to say this. I peep that Spence don't talk shit. After rounds, when niggas bump him, when headbutts and all that, he don't say a word to his opponent. He don't really say nothing. He probably hit you to punch you and all that, but he not talking. You know what I'm saying? He's not talking. His poised mental game is he's going to disarm Bud in there. You know, he going to have Bud thinking like shit is cool. Bud going to be like slapping gloves with him. He going to slap the gloves right with him. Bud going to probably hit him late and he's just going to be like, okay, act like he don't notice. I mean, he might do a little something, but it ain't gonna be a lot. I mean, Bud gonna be popping it though, and he gonna get popped for it. No, it's gonna be a great fight though. I'm rocking with Spence though. I've been rocking with Spence. Listen, the day after Spence got in his accident, I knew it was serious. It was dead serious. Oh my God. Oh my God. Check the dates. This is what I tweeted. God bless your heart. Errol Spence is gonna be coming back, and he's gonna knock niggas smooth the fuck out. Mind you, I didn't even know if he was ever gonna box again, but in my heart of hearts, I said Errol Spence is gonna come back. He's going to be knocking niggas smooth the fuck out. July 30th for about 7 days. I'm going on whatever YouTube panel I know. Shout out to Lost Art of Boxing. Shout out to Knockout Boxing. Shout out to Young Billy Boxing. Shout out to H Money where I started on this YouTube shit. H Money is the first person that gave me a voice on some Speak My Voice joint. Shout out to everybody though. I don't got no problem with nobody. BFTB. I like everybody's joints. I'm probably not going to be at a lot of Errol Spence pages though, because y'all already know how we rocking. But Bud niggas, your ass is grass. God bless y'all though, man. This going to be the biggest fight in the world. I'm about to buy Errol Spence shirt today. I might buy Bud shirt today too. Yeah, if Bud got shirt, I'm gonna buy it too. Probably not. Probably just gonna buy a Spence shirt, but it don't matter because I'm doing my part. I'm buying the pay-per-view. I might go to Gilly Fest. I don't know. But it's lit. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch this fight by myself. I don't know if I want to be around people. A lot of people already hit me up because they know Errol Spence is my favorite fighter. And amongst my friends, I'm probably the only person that really watch boxing, like a hardcore boxing fan. All my friends, they watch basketball and shit like that. Some of them watch MMA, and some of them watch baseball and be betting on baseball all day. Me, I watch boxing, football, basketball. That's it. Great drawing though. Biggest fight in the world. I'm rolling with Big EJ. EJ the big fish. We both Pisces, so I'm the bigger fish. It don't matter though, because guess who's coming? Jerron Boots motherfucking Ennis. I ain't even gonna do that because, you know, I'm gonna start drawing and that don't really need to be done right now. But yo, boxing fans, y'all complain too much. Y'all some hoes. Y'all be getting outdid. It seems as if boxing is getting outdone by UFC, but that's not the truth. The UFC fans are louder. They're hyper. Nah. They know how to make more noise. Everything's a big fight to them. Y'all complain about everything. Y'all don't get to appreciate shit. I don't like that joint about y'all. Yeah, that's not a good joint for us. I'm a boxing fan. You a boxing fan. Start appreciating these fights. Bro, Frank Martin, he got in a bad fight with a nobody. No, he did. That was a somebody. Clearly, he was a somebody. Because I know Michelle Rivera was a somebody. Okay, you didn't know the boy R10, but he was a somebody. Great counter puncher, volume puncher, and he can move. How many people's been matched with a counter puncher that can move? Let's not even get into volume. How many of your favorite prospects / contenders been matched someone that can move and counter punch? Let's throw volume in there. And Lord knows your favorite fighter hasn't fought anybody with power. Let's keep it a bean. Cuz he ain't had power. That's not the point. But let's keep it a bean. So when y'all be on this, like, don't forget about matchmaking. Matchmaking is important. Frank Martin is being developed. Frank Martin is going to be a fucking problem because of Artem. Yeah. Artem is bull. You know what I'm saying? And guess who's really the bull? Shakur's motherfucking Stevenson. You fucking baby dickhead. Yo, Tank home. He's the bull too. Yeah. I'm a Shakur and Errol Spence bull. Spence and Shakur bull. Errol Spence, Shakur. My top 5 favorite fighters: Errol Spence, Shakur, Tank, Richardson Hitchens, and Benavidez. Everybody else, dick up. I don't count the Philly fighters because that's a given. Like, comment, subscribe, you bitch.